Welcome to Celebrities Daily News, where fame meets the truth. From Hollywood's hottest secrets to shocking A-list scandals, Celebrities Daily News brings you the most exclusive updates, jaw-dropping exposés, and emotional moments from the world of the rich and famous. We go beyond the red carpet, behind the scenes, and straight into the private lives of your favorite stars. No filter, no fluff, just the real story. Whether it's surprise breakups, courtroom chaos, hidden truths, or heartfelt goodbyes, if it's trending, we're breaking. Subscribe now and join the inner circle, because in the world of celebrities, there's always more than meets the eye. In a stunning turn of events that has rocked fans of the iconic reality series Duck Dynasty, news began circulating recently about the tragic and deeply emotional farewell to the family's beloved patriarch, Phil Robertson. Whispers of a private funeral, tears behind closed doors, and final words filled with wisdom and love left millions asking, is it true? Did Phil Robertson, the man behind the beard, the faith, and the dynasty, really say his final goodbye? As ISPR News BNA investigates the truth behind the headlines, what we discovered was not just confirmation of the heartbreaking rumors, but a layered, intimate look into the legacy of a man who changed the face of reality television forever, and who left this world in a manner both raw and incredibly powerful. A giant among men falls quietly. Phil Robertson, known to many as the God-fearing, duck-calling, straight-talking patriarch of the Robertson family, passed away on May 25, 2025, at the age of 79. He had been battling Alzheimer's disease and a rare blood disorder that had slowly been taking its toll on the once energetic outdoorsman. The news hit hard. Fans around the world, from Louisiana to London, were left stunned as whispers of his death transitioned from internet rumor to tragic fact. While many expected a grand televised ceremony, in true Robertson fashion, the family opted for a deeply private, emotionally charged funeral, attended only by close family members and trusted friends. Roughly 400 people gathered at the family's estate in West Monroe, Louisiana, where Phil had lived most of his life. The location held significance. It was the very place where the dynasty was born, where the show was filmed, and where countless memories were made. The service, described by attendees as intensely moving, included acoustic gospel songs, scripture readings, and heartfelt eulogies delivered by Phil's sons Al, Jace, Willie, and Jep. Al, the eldest, spoke about his father's strength and humor even in the face of memory loss. Even when he couldn't remember our names, Al recounted, he remembered Jesus. And that's all he ever needed. The final moments, what Phil said before he passed. One of the most haunting and beautiful moments recounted by the family came from Sadie Robertson Huff, Phil's granddaughter. She shared that in the final hours of his life, as the sun set over the bayou, Phil held her hand and whispered, "Full strength ahead." These would be his final words, a charge to his family to keep the faith, to move forward without fear, and to continue the legacy of love, grit, and God that he had built. Willie, known for his business acumen and often credited with turning Duck Commander into a global empire, broke down as he described his father's last night. "He looked me right in the eye," Willie said, choking back tears, and he said, "Don't cry for me. I'm going to see the king." Those words reverberated throughout the ceremony, reminding everyone that Phil's journey wasn't ending. It was only beginning, in a place he had preached about his whole life. Inside the private funeral, what the public didn't see, while no cameras were allowed inside the private funeral, a source close to the family leaked exclusive details to ISPR News BNA about what really went down inside the chapel. According to this insider, the room was draped in earthy, rustic tones, reminiscent of the Louisiana wilderness Phil loved so much. A large wooden cross stood behind the simple pine coffin, hand-carved by one of Phil's grandsons. His famous camouflage jacket and duck call were placed on top, symbols of a life lived unapologetically. The service was not void of laughter. Stories of Phil's eccentricities, like baptizing people in muddy bayous or calling ducks in the middle of serious family meetings, were shared to lighten the somber mood. It was a perfect blend of faith, tears, and joy, much like Phil's life itself. Perhaps the most emotionally potent moment came when Miss Kay, Phil's wife of nearly 60 years, stood before the congregation. Her voice trembled as she said, "I lost my best friend, but heaven gained a warrior." She placed a kiss on his coffin and whispered something only the family could hear. It was, reportedly, her pet nickname for Phil, "My bearded lion," a family in mourning, but not broken. The days following Phil's death were filled with tributes from fans, celebrities, pastors, and even former critics. Social media exploded with messages of condolences and memories of how Phil's words and faith impacted lives. The family released a statement via Duck Commander's official Instagram. "We are grieving, but not without hope. Our father Phil lived a bold life, loved his family, and never stopped pointing people to Jesus. We thank you all for your love and prayer." Jace Robertson, known for his humor and wit, posted a photo of his father's Bible, worn out, marked up, and full of underlined verses, with the caption, "He lived by this book every single day." The family also asked for privacy, but they made one thing clear. Phil would not want his funeral to mark the end. Rather, he would want it to ignite a fire in those he left behind. Conspiracy theories begin. Is it really true? As the Robertson family mourned in peace, internet forums and YouTube comments began churning out conspiracy theories. Phil isn't really dead. This is a PR stunt for Duck Dynasty, the revival. They faked it to avoid media scrutiny. Such wild claims spread like wildfire. But ISPR News BNA did the homework. We confirmed through multiple sources, hospital records, close family friends, and clergy who conducted the service, that Phil Robertson's passing was very real. This wasn't a Hollywood gimmick. It was the genuine loss of a man loved by millions. The revival, a legacy reborn. Ironically, just days after Phil's funeral, the long-awaited Duck Dynasty, the revival, premiered on streaming platforms. Initially planned before Phil's passing, the show suddenly took on a whole new weight. What was meant to be a nostalgic reboot turned into a celebration of Phil's life. The premiere episode began with a touching tribute. The screen faded to black, and a single quote from Phil appeared, "If you miss me, talk to God. I'm with him now." A slow montage of Phil's best moments, baptizing new believers, fishing with grandkids, arguing about ducks, played with soft gospel music in the background. Al Robertson, who had been hesitant about returning to the show, revealed in an interview, "We debated shutting the whole thing down, but then we asked ourselves, what would Dad want? And the answer was clear. Preach, laugh, love, and don't waste time." Phil's impact beyond the screen. Phil Robertson's legacy extends far beyond the borders of the Duck Commander warehouse or the reality show that made him a household name. He was a preacher, a mentor, and a cultural icon. He inspired millions to embrace their faith boldly and to live life authentically. Church leaders across the country held memorials in Phil's honor. Small towns in the South organized community gatherings where folks shared stories of how Phil's words had led them to faith. Even critics of Duck Dynasty admitted that Phil's sincerity was unmatched. Phil's books, including Happy, Happy, Happy and The Theft of America's Soul, saw a massive resurgence in sales, with fans seeking comfort and wisdom from his writing. His podcast, Unashamed, which he hosted alongside Al and Jace, began re-airing classic episodes as tribute content, allowing fans to hear his voice one last time. The final resting place, a quiet corner of the bayou. Phil Robertson was laid to rest near the family's home in a private burial site beside the Ouachita River. A small stone marks the site with the simple engraving, Phil Robertson, 1946 to 2025, full strength ahead. Unlike celebrity tombs in massive cemeteries, Phil's final resting place reflects who he truly was, a man of the wild, the word, and unwavering principle. Miss Kay visits the site daily. According to the family, she often brings Phil's favorite sweet tea and reads aloud from the Bible, continuing the morning tradition they shared for decades. What's next for the Robertson family? In the wake of Phil's passing, the Robertson family has vowed to continue the mission he started. They plan to expand their ministry efforts, launch a scholarship fund for young hunters and preachers, and establish the Phil Robertson Faith and Family Foundation. Jep and Willie are spearheading a new line of faith-based outdoor gear, while Sadie is working on a book titled My Grandfather's Beard, Life Lessons from Phil Robertson. It's already on track to become a bestseller. Phil may be gone, but his influence is stronger than ever. The bearded legend lives on, in duck calls, in Bibles, in hunting cabins, and in the hearts of every person he touched.